Hello, everyone, and welcome. My name is Gerri Mana. I'm also known as the Habit Fixer, and welcome. My name is Gerri Mana. I'm also known as the Habit Fixer, and I love helping women regain their mojo and age well. I do that with a very simple tapping technique called EFT, nutrition, skincare, and digital products. And I'm so happy because my guest today even is the gorgeous, voluptuous Gerri Mana. And if you don't
What an what an introduction. Thank you. Thank you so much for the space. I'm honored to
Oh,
be here and to, yeah, hopefully share my magic with your beautiful people. Thank you, Julie.
I know you will. So if you don't know who Gerri is, she's a sleep and dream coach. She's also a podcaster and a speaker. And I can't wait to hear what you've got to say. I know you're going to be talking about empowering sleep habits, aren't you?
Yeah, well, I'm going to be actually turning that a little bit on its head, okay? Because I work with people on a one-to-one basis to get their sleep back to amazing. Because, when you slept well, your day is amazing, life is amazing, and you can create. First of all, you can get clarity on what you'd love to create, and then you have the willpower and the energy, the zest, the clarity. You know what actions to take to then create, your visions, your dreams, and achieve those goals. Um, I thought what I might do is actually look at the habits that get people into a mess and get their sleeping out of kilter. And then what I will do is, I'll talk about things to address, things that I recommend. But there are so many, and I can't possibly get clarity. And thank you for watching. I can't get clarity because I haven't met you. I don't know your history. I don't know why you might have either got insomnia or started sleeping really badly. So I might not be able to get your exact reason. So, with that said, Julia's going to give everyone my website and, more importantly, my email address, which is Gerri at, and then my website, Soul Discovery Academy, so that you can get. I've got this wonderful insomnia eradicator checklist and some videos that go with it. So you can choose, you can either read or, I'm starting to bore people now. I'm going to get into the juice in a minute. But I just wanted to say that you know, the video and the checklist will help you to really correct your own sleep if you would like to do it on your own. So, with all of that said, um, why do we get insomnia? Um, I actually was a very stressed out TV producer who had horrendous insomnia, and life was hell. I was working 70 hours a week, partied like a nutter, and I don't know how I didn't kill myself. And weirdly enough, it was those messages from the universe that the pushes kept getting bigger and bigger and bigger. And I was like, okay, I've got to stop these messages and take heed. And I eventually left my job. If you have insomnia, you don't have to, okay? You can, obviously. But I just think it's really important to say, with actually some, you don't have to make huge life changes, with some tiny adjustments, and maybe even a change of focus, etc., which I'll go into in a moment, you can get back to sleeping incredibly. And I love that we're actually focusing on habits, because it's habits that actually get us out of kilter and move us away from having those 7 to 9 hours sleep a night. And yes, that's what we need, 7 to 9 hours, because and science now, thank God for science. I've got lots of things in my background, lots of trainings, etc. And now science is meeting all of that and saying, yes, you need 7 to 9 hours sleep a night. Otherwise, not only is it going to impact you in later years with potential heart problems, cancer, diabetes, even Alzheimer's. But right now, think about how you feel when you don't sleep well. It affects our memory, our cognitive abilities. It affects our relationship. It affects every area of our life. So, the first thing that I want to, the first habit and the most common one that affects people, puts their sleeping out of kilter, is focus, mindset, worrying. And that might just be a habit that is built up over a period of time, or it could be because of maybe something traumatic that has happened, like a death in the family, a breakup, maybe even losing your job, the fear of losing your job. And I mean, we're not sure. Sadly, there's no shortage of things to worry about in the world. And that's another thing that I hear my clients when they come to me say is they're just worried about the world. And I'm not only a firm believer, but proof, again, scientific proof shows your inner world, your inner world creates your external world. So it's really, looking at, first of all, what is it that put your sleeping out of kilter? And very often what put it out of kilter is then what keeps not only making your sleep suffer, but making it worse and worse and worse. Like, for instance, pressures at work. I work with a lot of ladies that work in the tech industry. Not only is there jet lag and traveling, there's a lot of pressures with their team and meeting targets, or even if they, whether they have their own business or they're, in the corporate world. Difficulty with relationships, and not only, as great as the science is, those statistics about the things that the lack of sleep could be causing them in their later years and the cost implications of that, but they're seeing their current health affected. With, also the thing, digestion is one of the big things that is a side effect of really poor sleep. So then moving on to the second habit, which, leading on from me talking about digestion, is either what happens first is people off their diet and nutrition, or because they're not sleeping well, their diet and nutrition is affected. Does that make sense, Julie? It's like, which came first, the chicken or the egg?
That makes complete sense, Gerri. Absolutely. I'm hanging on your every word.
Just checking you're still awake, really. So yeah, diet and nutrition. I know when I was a TV producer, in one of my jobs, my God, this is showing my age. This is like a gazillion decades ago. There was actually a tea lady that came around 4 o'clock, and I would be dying for this woman to turn up. It sounds, when I think of it, it feels like the 1950s. It wasn't that long ago, but it was that, it was a proper old-fashioned tea lady in a very modern company. It was ever so odd. Anyway, they probably knew what they were doing because we would stay and work till like 10 at night in this job. But yeah, and I would just be, oh my God, the tea lady, because I would want to go to bed right then. It was that. They call it the mid-afternoon slump, don't they? And yeah, so, excuse me, what? I would load up, I'm going to have a little sip of water. I'd load up on my caffeine, my chocolate. I think Boost bars were quite new then. I had a bit of a Boost bar addiction. Cherry Coke as well. I mean, God, I'm actually cringing when I think about some of my dietary habits back then. I think there was a very short phase. I actually can't believe this, and I'm going to share it anyway. I think there was a time when I used to have a Boost bar and a Cherry Coke for breakfast. I mean, it just feels like not only another person, another planet, but yeah, anyway. 4 o'clock, caffeine addiction. And this is so common when my clients come to me, and they're very aware of it, and, they try and cut back, but it's like they just feel lost and hopeless and helpless because they're not getting the sleep at night. And because of this caffeine boost, they get into bed and they're wired. And that brings me on to the third habit. that I'm going to talk about. They get into bed, they're wired. So what happens is that they associate their bed, and this is sometimes conscious, but more often than not unconscious. They associate their bed with being wired and awake and productive. So the laptop comes in and the flipping, the phones and a bit of Netflix and this, and it's like sometimes I am allowed to quote this person, but they're like, oh, but Gerri, sometimes my bed is the most productive zone ever. No! So see, these are all the habits, and I'm sharing them not to be a doom and Mrs. Doom and Gloom, but because it's very it's intuitive to go, well, these are the things not to do, then we know what to do. And then in terms of bedtime, one of the things that I love, this is the opposite of a habit. This is one of the things that I love doing, and it's very often, it's not all of my clients need, but very often this is the game changer. Is them creating a goddess bedtime routine and a goddess bedroom actually. And there are no gadgets, there are no phones, there's no flipping computers in this goddess bedroom. They might have a delicious bath beforehand, preferably with some juicy, gorgeous Celtic salt or something like that. And what I love to suggest to them, and most of them really go for this, most of them love it. And this kind of this tarries up with the mindset. They're having this blissful goddess bath at night with candles and really, and this again, this is linked with science. This is getting your body into the predominant temperature so that you can sleep deeply, and it's deeply relaxing, and it's so good for the inner goddess and the outer goddess and the in-between goddess. But what they do with this salt, because that really takes all the impurities out of your system, out of your body, is that when they're finished their bath, they actually let all the water drain out. And while that's happening, they're then also letting go of anything they want to let go of in their life. And then they finish with a shower. Some of them go for a 30-second cold shower at the end. But this is, again, linked with science, very, very, very positive. And then by the time they get into bed, their body is literally screaming, I love you, I want to sleep now. And then they go into this magical dream space. But I just wanted to share that because it's such a gorgeous little ritual that they love. And one of my clients, she linked in with this goddess bedroom and the goddess routine. We totally transformed her bedroom because she said, Gerri, should I get into bed, and she talks about lying there for ages, for hours, and and my bedroom is like a flipping airplane cockpit. With all of these little, everything in her room has a light. Like the little stereo, her obviously alarm clock. Then there's the charger for her phone and the EMF detector. Also a really great thing to check on. How much electromagnetic frequency. I mean, you can see I've got a wealth of information to share, and I'm bursting and I'm excited. So get the checklist from me. You can get it in video form or in, to read form. But anyway, so we transformed her bedroom. And honestly, literally within 3 days, her sleep was back to normal. And it can happen that way. It can happen in one day. I've had many people. My client, Natalie, she was on, from the age of 13, she was had terrible sleep. I wish she'd come to me earlier. She was in her 30s when she came to me. Her story was covered in the Daily Mail, actually. She was addicted to temazepam. and she still wasn't getting good sleep, but she was in a mess. Her digestion was mucked up, everything. In sessions, she was sleeping from 11 till 7 in the morning, and that happened very quickly. So I just want to offer what would you offer as a something of hope, a ray of hope, that if you have insomnia, if you're not getting the 7 to 9 hours good sleep, or even if you are waking up and you don't feel rested, that's another thing that, needs to be addressed. That there is a way, there is a hope. And don't just lie in bed if you can't sleep. I think, I don't know how we're doing for time, but maybe wrapping up with this is, if you're in bed for more than 20 minutes and you can't sleep, I think, I know, again, science proves this, that it's very important to just get up if it's 20 minutes or over, because you don't want to give your consciousness the message that bed is a place where you are awake and somewhere that you can't sleep. So get up, do something relaxing, keep the lights low. I have no ceiling lights that I use in my home at all. I can't bear them. And it's something that's so natural for me that I forget to mention it. Um, even if I go to the bathroom in the night, I have those flameless candles so that I'm not telling my system, get the rhythms going, it's daytime. You want to keep everything low and dim and magical, and keep your bedroom for juicy sex, hopefully, and rest and relaxation. Okay, Julie, how are we doing? Have you got any questions? Have I only been talking for 2 minutes?
Oh, I think that's absolutely brilliant what you've shared, Gerri. And I love the idea of the flameless candle. So what, you just, those little sort of battery powered ones that you just
Yeah, I
imagine, you
don't know
just
if
put
you
them in the
have
bathroom, you keep them on all the
Prime where
time.
you are. Say that again.
So you just keep them on all the time, because I am someone who goes to the toilet more than once a night. So you just keep them on, do you, on the bathroom window ledge or something?
Yes, yeah.
Yeah.
And they're so pretty as well.
Yeah.
They last forever.
Yeah, brilliant.
Or little, or those, or fairy lights, whatever. Just
Oh, yeah.
beauty.
No,
Let's have
that's
some more beauty and deep sleep.
That's a great idea, because I know that in the past I've got up and then I've had a cup of tea, and then I've maybe I've read, but sometimes I might check out an episode of something. Not a good idea, obviously.
No, terrible.
Terrible idea. Yeah.
Terrible.
The other thing is that obviously there will be some men watching, so there may be some men who want a god bath and to do the
Yeah.
same routine, but and it applies to any human, really, this advice.
Any humans, the she, hers, the his, hims, the theys, all of
All of
them,
them,
all of
everyone.
us, all of us. But what I would say for men, again, the salt is a really good thing. Do the same thing, because you don't want to be kind of bathing in the gunk that you're letting go of. Just do the same thing. Imagine you're letting go as the water goes down the plug. It's so juicy. And make sure you kind of give the bath a little rinse or a wash before someone else gets in there as well. Let's ground this, because you don't want them to be in the energies that you've let go of. And men put in the gorgeous stuff. I don't know, if you like some juicy, lovely, manly smelling stuff, then pop that in. So yeah.
Brilliant. Actually, I love the idea that you talked about cleaning the bath afterwards. I mean, obviously it makes practical sense, but it's also something that I do automatically. It's called habit stacking. It's very easy to have to stack habits together. And it's just really brilliant. I don't have to think about it. Once I've done it, I just do it really quickly. And then obviously it's great for the next time or the next person. So
Exactly.
yeah. So you've talked about your some videos that you have and a sort of handout, which people will obviously be able to get by looking at your links below this video. So
Best to email me so that I know. Just email me, say the word yes, and I'll know that you're a special Julie person, and you'll get the special treatment with the special videos and the checklist.
Wow,
Yeah.
how wonderful. Oh, I love the sound of that. I shall be asking for that myself. So thank you so much, Gerri, for sharing all of that brilliant stuff. And thank you everyone else for watching, listening, whatever it is that you're doing. Please check out Gerri's links, and check out my links. They'll be below as well. If you've enjoyed this, then why not subscribe? Why not share it with someone who could really, really do with some sleep? So thank you, everyone, once again. And here's to a good night's sleep.
Sweet dreams. Thank you again, Julie.